Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you all are having a great day and welcome back to another episode of the Zcrew podcast. And today is Monday, July 28th, 2025, guys. Now, we are officially 1 week closer to the start of the 2025 NFL regular season. I am pumped, guys. I absolutely cannot wait. And this week, this Thursday, we have our first look at NFL action on TV, the Hall of Fame game between the Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Chargers. Now, of course, not a lot of the star players like Herbert and, Jared Goff will not be playing in this game, obviously, but nonetheless, it's still NFL football, and it is preseason, but I am very pumped to finally watch some NFL football. And guys, I'm even more pumped about today's video because today we are talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, of course, my team, the Baltimore Ravens, guys. Now, of course, we cannot talk about the Baltimore Ravens without the GOAT, in my eyes, Lamar Jackson. Now, unfortunately, last year, 2024 season did not end the way any of us Ravens fans, of course, wanted last year. Now, no question, I thought that we were the best team in the entire NFL last year. And, of course, if you ask myself or any other Ravens fans, I and myself will tell you that last season we saw the best that we've ever seen Lamar Jackson play for an entire NFL season. Healthy, and the guy just got better week by week. It was absolutely amazing to watch. Clearly got better when more comfortable with Todd Monken calling plays, and they've really built something special. Of course, having Derrick Henry to the offense was a huge addition, much needed addition. And clearly Lamar and Henry are a very scary duo in the backfield. But I expect even bigger things out of year two with Derrick Henry. Of course, the Ravens were smart enough to re-sign Derrick Henry again. So now he's under contract for 3 more seasons. Absolutely amazing. Hopefully he finishes his career here in Baltimore. But, of course, the GOAT, Derrick Henry on our team. But yes, guys, last season, Lamar should have one MVP, should have 3 MVPs, but I think we experienced a little bit of what we call voters fatigue. If you notice there in the NBA, Nikola Jokic experiences the same thing where they get kind of tired of voting for him. But nonetheless, Shea should have won MVP. I'm not saying that's what happened this season, but I will say that I think the voters kind of wanted to switch up MVP and let Josh Allen finally get one, but no question, Lamar played absolutely amazing last year. And even in the playoff loss, guys, we did lose the Bills in the divisional round last year. Very tough and heartbreaking loss. But I think especially in the second half, Lamar played absolutely amazing. And, guys, don't forget, we were missing Zay Flowers. Our top 3 receivers in that game were Anthony Miller, Steven Sims, and Rashad Bateman. We were missing our guy, Zay Flowers. Again, I think obviously Andrews had a rough game that game. That's okay, guys. That's in the past. And we are looking forward to the 2025 Baltimore Ravens season. Now, guys, if you asked me last year, I said we had the Ravens have the best team. Now, if you ask me today, I will tell you, non-biased, totally non-biased, that the Baltimore Ravens have the best record and the best roster in the entire NFL on paper, guys. This team has absolutely 0 holes, if you ask me. Now, of course, it helps. Our secondary got absolutely insane because we signed 2 great cornerbacks. We signed Lamar Jackson's former Louisville teammate, Jair Alexander, to a 1-year deal, an absolute steal. And if you ask me, if he's healthy, he's arguably a top 10, maybe a top 7 corner, an absolute shutdown corner in the NFL when healthy. Adding him to our team on a cheap 1-year deal. Also to help go next to Marlon Humphrey as well as second-year player Nate Wiggins. Boom. I'm expecting Nate Wiggins to take a huge jump this year. But nonetheless, we did sign Jair Alexander as well as Chidobe Awuzie, another standout cornerback from I believe he was with the Bengals last year. But another, guys, we also signed free agent wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. And now I have been asking for the Ravens to sign DeAndre Hopkins for years. I thought his big physical body and that type of player can really help the Ravens on offense, especially, have a kind of big body receiver opposite Zay Flowers, especially after the way that we saw Rashad Bateman break out last season. He had almost 10 touchdowns last year. Absolutely insane year for Bateman. I think you truly now have an insane big 3, no question, the best big 3 receivers Lamar has ever had in his career with Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, and now adding a older version of DeAndre Hopkins, but still potential Hall of Fame player to your team. To our offense, huge addition, D-Hop. Very excited to see D-Hop play for us. Also, Ravens were able to re-sign standout left tackle Ronnie Stanley, who had an amazing year last year. And again, another guy, when he can stay healthy, he can truly be one of the best left tackles in the entire NFL. So it's great to have him back. And guys, I did not even mention the 2024 NFL Draft, where we saw GM Eric DeCosta absolutely cook as usual, guys. Cook it up. We were able to draft standout safety from Georgia, Malachi Starks, at pick number 27, who now will slide next to Kyle Hamilton, and in my opinion will build one of the scariest secondaries in the entire NFL, with Kyle Hamilton, who absolutely is one of the best, if not the best, safety in the entire NFL. Throw him next to Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey, Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie, and also second-year Nate Wiggins. Man, this secondary is going to be absolutely scary for opposing offenses. Watch out in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers. But nonetheless, the Ravens also, you could argue the Ravens' biggest need is still edge rusher, but we were able to draft standout edge rusher from Marshall, Mike Green, in the second round. Again, the guy had some character issues off the field. Hopefully those are all taken care of. Again, that's why we saw him fall. He did have first-round talent written all over him. Again, I think this is a guy who could potentially get 10 sacks per season, maybe even more. I think he's going to lead the Ravens in sacks this year. That's right, rookie Mike Green. But, again, a huge addition to add a guy for our pass rush we desperately need next to Odafe Oweh. And also, David Ojabo has been kind of up and down. This is a make-it-or-break-it year for Ojabo. He's kind of been injured, of course, but not really sure what to expect from Ojabo, so he might not be able to be healthy. But if we can add Mike Green and Odafe Oweh, boom. Great addition to our pass rush. Much-needed pass rush. And also, guys, only thing you can say is a bit of a concern for this team is the kicker position, because you guys already know what happened to Justin Tucker. For the first time since 2012, Justin Tucker will not be on the Ravens opening day roster. A little sad for us Ravens fans, but, stuff happens. He's got whatever happened. I'm not going to comment on that here on the Zcrew podcast, but that's okay. But we did draft rookie kicker Tyler Loop out of Arizona in the 6th round. And the word about him was he did have a really strong leg coming out of college. I believe he is a 4-year starter, so he's got lots of experience kicking at the collegiate level. But obviously the NFL is a little different. And the talks coming out of the Ravens OTAs this spring, were that he was not doing so well. So I believe they did sign another undrafted kicker. So now we're going to have a bit of a kicking competition going on in this year's training camp, which, probably the only kicking competition worth watching and paying attention to in the entire NFL, because the Ravens have not had to worry about a kicker for over 10 years, like I said. So, yeah, obviously now it becomes a bit of an issue. And, again, kicking in a regular game scenario is very different than OTAs and training camp. So, again, until you see Tyler Loop kick in a real preseason game, I'm not really sure what to expect. But, obviously, I'm sure the Ravens are smart. They're going to have multiple kickers, possibly even look at signing a veteran kicker. Possibly have another tryout just to maybe give the kid some competition, maybe add a little pressure. But again, it's kind of a hard situation because really haven't had to deal with a kicker. Ravens have been good with Justin Tucker for the last 10 years. The best kicker in football, kind of just whenever he'd kick, you're like, all right, there's 3 points, So anyway, going to have to watch our kicker room this training camp. But guys, also, this season, I'm expecting even bigger things out of Lamar Jackson. Under year 3 under Todd Monken's offense, boom. I'm expecting big things. Obviously, we're winning a Super Bowl here, guys. The Ravens roster, the way it's built like this, it's kind of looked at Super Bowl or bust. As hard and harsh as that is, that's kind of where we are right now, guys. The Ravens have the best roster, and if you have the best roster, what does that mean? You should win the Super Bowl if you think about it. So, obviously, that's where the Ravens are right now. And, of course, guys, I'm expecting some big players on offense to take even bigger jumps in year 3, like Isaiah Likely, who we saw take a huge leap last year. Now, guys, I'm not calling for Mark Andrews. Of course, we love Andrews. I think Andrews is a great receiver. Tight end, my fault. And he and Lamar have instantly had that chemistry ever since they got drafted. They've always been on the same page. But I do think that we could see Andrews take a step back, and I think Isaiah Likely can really, maybe take above him, take some more snaps than him during the regular season, because I think Likely is just got to potentially have so much potential. But, of course, Andrews, still a very solid tight end, great blocker, just a great guy to have on your team. Always seems to get open when you need him. I will say usually has reliable hands. Of course, what happened last January is that, but usually has very reliable hands, so we always feel that him and Lamar have that little security blanket relationship going on there. But still, I'm expecting big things out of Isaiah Likely. Of course, fully healthy Zay Flowers, too. Go next to Rashad Bateman and DeAndre Hopkins. Of course, guys, we're looking at year 3 of Zay Flowers. What type of jump will he take? Going to be a huge addition. I think it's going to be great for him to play next to a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. Great speed and physicality next to each other. Boom. Lamar's going to have so many options. Lamar's got so many guys to throw the ball to. It's going to be fun to watch. So, guys, obviously for this season, I have the Baltimore Ravens no doubt winning the AFC North. I'm going to have them finishing another year 13-4. We do have some tough schedule. We do play the NFC North this season, which is the best division in football, if you ask me. I could see some of those games against the Lions and Packers being tough games, especially on the road, but that's okay. I think we're still going to finish the year 13-4 and finish and win the NFC North. We're in the AFC North, of course, and I see us playing in the Super Bowl, guys. So no doubt about it, the Baltimore Ravens have the best team in the NFL, so that means Super Bowl. So without further ado, thanks for watching, guys. Tonight, the Orioles are hosting the Toronto Blue Jays, who welcome the team with the best record of the American League into the ballpark. That should be interesting. The O's always seem to play the Blue Jays very tight, so I expect it to hopefully not get our ass kicked, but hopefully have a pretty competitive series against the Blue Jays, make them nervous a little bit. We got Zach Eflin and possibly his last start as an Oriole before the trade deadline tonight, going up against Chris Bassett. So, without that, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and go Ravens. Thanks for watching, guys.